Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time, in my opinion, is a pretty good one. Definitely an insane one. One that I've been waiting to tell for a very long time now. It takes place in high school. It was my 10th grade year, and it's kind of two stories in one. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Leave a like in the video if you do. Let's jump into this. So, today's story time all starts off as a normal day. I wake up really early in a bad mood because it was 6 in the morning and I only slept like 3 hours. I get ready for school. I get on the bus. I go to school. And I go to my first period class. And I don't know what got into me on this day, but I just wasn't feeling school. I just was not in a good mood. I didn't want to go to school. So me, being an idiot, decided to just keep talking to my friend all through first period class and piss my teacher off. He kept telling me to stop talking, and I just kept talking to my friend, no matter what he would say. And the reason I kept doing this is because I wanted to get suspended. Yeah, I don't know why I was being so stupid back then, but I didn't want to go to school, so I thought getting suspended was a better idea. Now, before I continue with the story, don't do that, ever. I don't know what I was thinking. I just really was being stupid. Yeah, getting suspended on purpose is dumb. Anyway, back to the story. So I keep talking to my friend through first period, and my teacher finally stops the class and goes, "Austin, if I catch you talking one more time, I'm giving you 2 days of in-school suspension." Now, for anyone that doesn't know what that is, it's just suspension, but in school. They put you in a room, and you just sit there all day through the whole 6 hours of school and do homework, basically. And I'm like, okay. And I keep talking to my friend. And he goes, all right, that's it. Go to the main office. You're done. So, yeah, not even done with first period. And I have to go to the main office and talk to my principal. So I go up there. I sit down in the main office with my principal. And my principal ends up telling me that I'm suspended for 2 days and that I can come back to normal classes after 2 days. So immediately, I had to go downstairs and start my in-school suspension. I go to the ISS room, I go in there, I sit down, and it was just me and this other guy. Let's just call this dude Eric. Yeah, it was me, Eric, and then the in-school suspension teacher, who would just sit there at the desk up front and make sure we're doing our homework and not talking to each other. Now, I can't lie, the teacher that we got in ISS was kind of a dickhead. Like, every time I get suspended, I would go in there and he'd be in there. Sometimes it'd be different teachers, but usually it was this one guy. And he was kind of a dickhead. Like, he would just say rude things and he was really mean. But I guess at the end of the day, in-school suspension teachers aren't supposed to be very nice either. So I didn't really care. I just kind of, put my head down or did my work. That was the two things I would do in suspension. So anyway, most of the day in suspension was pretty boring. Me and this Eric kid just kind of sat at our desks and did our homework. But towards the end of the day is really when this story picks up and gets pretty interesting. So, like I said, it was just me and this other student in suspension this day. It was just me and Eric in this one room with this teacher. And halfway through the day, Eric just gives up on his homework. He just throws his pencil down on the floor, puts his head down, and goes to sleep. And usually, the teacher wouldn't care. But for some reason on this day, he didn't like the idea of anybody sleeping in class. So he stood up, he picked up Eric's pencil, he throws it down on the desk and wakes Eric up and goes, "Eric, get back to work right now." And Eric goes, "No, I'm taking a nap." And the teacher goes, "This is ISS, in-school suspension, not in-school nap time. Like, you can sleep when you get home. You're in here to work, so do your work." And Eric goes, "No, I'm in here to sleep. I'm going back to bed." And he throws his pencil back on the floor and then wipes all the papers off his desk onto the floor and puts his head back down. And when he does this, the teacher's face just turns from like pure calm to just pure anger. And he bends down, picks up Eric's homework and pencil, and slams it back down on the desk and goes, "Eric, get up. I'm not playing around." And Eric picks his head up, looks at my teacher with also an angry face, and goes, "Sir, I'm going to put my head back down one more time. If you wake me up again, I'm going to punch you in your fucking face." And when he said that, my face just turned into pure like, oh shit. And the teacher goes, "Eric, threaten me again, see what happens. You'll be in suspension for a whole lot longer than a couple days." And Eric goes, "It wasn't a threat. I'm going to put my head back down now. If you wake me up again, I'm going to hit you." And my teacher goes, "Okay, we'll see about that." And right after he says that, Eric throws his pencil back down on the ground, throws his papers down on the ground, and puts his head right back down on the desk. And my teacher looks at me. Like, right after Eric put his head back down on the desk, my teacher looked at me, and I shook my head no. I was shaking my head no to tell him, like, don't wake Eric back up. I don't want to see you get punched, man. And my teacher turns around, and I thought he was turning around to walk back to his desk and leave Eric to sleep in peace. but he puts both his hands up, turns back around, and slams both fists down on the desk as loud as he can, right next to Eric's head and his ears, and wakes Eric up in the most abrupt way possible. And the next thing I know, Eric stands up, winds his fist back, and punches my teacher as hard as he fucking can across the face, sending my teacher down to the ground out cold. Just knocked my teacher out without hesitation. And Eric looks at me next, and I thought he was going to fucking punch me. And he goes, "I'm leaving. You coming with?" I was like, nah, I'm going to stay here, make sure he's okay. And Eric goes, "Whatever, have a good one." And he walks out the classroom. It all happened so fast. Like, it really did happen that quickly. And I immediately jump out of my desk. I crouch down. I start kind of like, tapping on my teacher's shoulder, trying to wake him up. And for a few seconds, he wasn't waking up. I thought for a minute Eric just killed my teacher. Like, I straight up thought he just killed the teacher. I was like, oh shit, he's not waking up. Like, is he dead? Like, what do I do? And I jump up, I open up the door to the classroom, and I yell out, "Someone help!" And immediately some teacher comes running around the corner. I don't know where she came from. I don't know what classroom she came from. But she runs over to the ISS room, runs in, sees my teacher laying there. And she goes, "What happened?" I'm like, "He got hit." And she's like, "What? Who hit him? Did you?" I was like, "No, someone else did. Help me." And we both start tapping on him. And he starts waking up. And as soon as this knocked out teacher starts waking up and coming back to reality, the other teacher, the one that was helping me, jumped up, ran over to the desk and grabbed the phone and called the nurse's office so that the nurse could come down and help this teacher. And while she's on the phone, I'm just sitting there on the ground next to my half knocked out teacher. And he looks at me in pure confusion and just goes, "Did I just get knocked out?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, you did." He's like, "Was Eric the one that did it?" I was like, "Yeah, he hit you pretty good." And he goes, "Where is he?" I was like, "He just walked out of here. I don't know where he went." And my teacher goes, "Well, thanks for making sure I'm okay. I'll be sure to tell the principal about this and get you out of ISS early." And when he said that, my whole perception of this teacher changed. Don't get me wrong, he was really strict, and there was a million other times before this where he was kind of rude to me and wasn't very nice. But this dude at the core was a good guy and did not deserve to get knocked out. So anyway, the nurse comes down and helps, nurse him back to a stable state. She gave him some water, some ice for his face, kind of helped him, wake up. And then the principal came down to the ISS room. The principal walked in, and my teacher, the ISS teacher, told the principal everything that happened from start to finish and said that Eric was the one that did it. And immediately they put the school on lockdown until they could find Eric. And they found him 30 minutes later, hiding in some bathroom, just vaping. I know that because Eric used to always use the same bathroom every day to just go in there and vape. He'd be in there all the time in between classes, and I'd see him in there. So, moral of this story is, just don't be like Eric at all. Just don't do any of the things that Eric did in this story time. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. I thought it was a really crazy one. I've been waiting to tell this one for a while. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.